Hi everyone, I am Danny K. Silva, your Associated Students President here at Mount Sac, and I'm here with
Cesar Tlatuani Alvarado, and I am your student trustee. Today we are going to be discussing the resolution that our student government has written and unanimously passed today regarding our mascot and our moniker. This will provide more context on the survey that you will be receiving and doing and will guide you along in your process about what our student government is thinking and feeling.
We're hoping knowing the background of this resolution is going to assist you when you complete your survey now. So I'm going to start with the very first whereas. Associated students strive to align our college's brand and culture with the following esteemed core values: integrity, equity, and diversity, community building, student focus, social justice, anti-racism, positive spirit, and effective stewardship. The current moniker of Mount Sac, the Mountie, is in direct conflict with these core values. It is harmful to our indigenous populations, and it is an insult to the land we reside on. The moniker is a painful reminder of the atrocities committed by the Canadian Mounted Police against Native Americans in coordination with the will of Indigenous students, and our land acknowledgement against the moniker Mountie in favor of a moniker in coordination with our values and mascot. We also stand with our students against the mascot committee's disregard for the student voice when crafting the new mascot to replace Joe Mountie. The committee's choice to disregard the student voice of Mountain Lion despite asking the student body is a clear insult to the student focus of Associated Students.
After years of discussion concerning the offensive and racist symbols of Mountie and Joe Mountie and Mountaineers, we recognize the removal of Joe Mountie as a mascot was a significant step of progress. However, even this accomplishment is mired in the college's mascot task force and how they subverted the popular vote of Mountain Lion, showing the apparent disconnect between the will of the committee and the students they serve. Furthermore, the remaining moniker of Mountie and the persistent glorification of Joe Mountie throughout our campus, both physically and culturally, has yet to be effectively addressed. The name Mountie is linked to the painful past, and it derives from the Canadian Mounted Police, who have a history of committing atrocities against Indigenous people. This includes historical and ongoing oppression, violence, and brutality, missing and murdered Indigenous people, land disputes, and cultural insensitivity. The mascot's task force of new images of the bear are clearly nearly identical pose to Joe Mountie, creating a silhouette that may trigger Native students still haunted by his visage. Furthermore, the comparison of light to brown fur has been seen by many members of our community as blatantly racist and an unnecessary comparison. Mount Sac should not rely on the passing of the SSCCC culturally offensive mascot and moniker removal, as it is perfectly capable of aligning its values regarding equity and diversity.
Associated students have been called upon to acknowledge the harm caused by Joe Mountie and the Mountie moniker to our Indigenous students and the disregard of the students' voices as a direct result of the mascot committee's actions. The priorities of the Associated Students, which include diversity, equity, inclusion, social justice, and anti-racism, aim to create a more equitable world, starting with our campus. The Indigenous community has demonstrated the harmful impact of the moniker on the success and retention of our Indigenous students. They have expressed visceral reactions to the painful history the moniker inspires upon viewing it. The continued use of the moniker perpetuates the long history of racism faced by the Indigenous community and perpetuates the cycle of oppression and cultural genocide.
The mascot task force was determined to have the student trustee and 3 other student body members attend. Despite this intention, the 3 students assigned could not participate, and the committee should have attempted to contact the AS president to find suitable replacements. The result of this oversight was 2 disastrous surveys that were insidiously designed, highly racist and bigoted, and the ability to voice opinions by participating in the study or neither opinion was or is a careful choice designed to subvert the student voices. Furthermore, the decision to release the survey during finals and midterms while reaching their quota is selected during times when the majority of the students were unable to have time to voice their opinions.
Firstly, we call for a formal acknowledgement of the history of the Mountie moniker. This acknowledgement shall be historically accurate. It shall be researched and created by a historian. We also greatly appreciate continuing the collaborative college-wide effort to dismantle the glorification of Joe Mountie in our college's culture. Secondly, we call for a gradual removal of the Mountie moniker over a 5-year period in which any and all depictions of the word Mountie be removed from all Mount SAC material. The Native American students have voiced their continued cries for the removal of Joe Mountie and the Mountie moniker for years. They have exposed how it negatively impacts retention and images of self-worth by propagating the racism that has defined their people's cultural experience. In alignment with our land acknowledgement and the passionate voices of our students, the moniker is a dark reminder of past atrocities with which the campus should have no desire to associate itself.
We consider the campus-wide effort necessary for said removal, so we encourage and appreciate the gradual and sustainable effort, and such efforts include, but are not limited to, the retirement of athletic jerseys, student program merchandise, and donations. We hope to sufficiently address the concerns of Indigenous students and allies while protecting the student experience of programs which must undergo the retirement of the moniker.
This resolution is a part of many movements, including but not limited to the removal of colonial mascots and monikers, truth and reconciliation, and decolonization, that began once former colonies were colonized, started, and eventually won their freedom. We recognize that decolonization is a form of healing, and in the healing, we must first educate, then acknowledge and accept right and historical wrongs, and finally forgive and let go.
Thirdly, we demand accountability for the Mascot Task Force in their decisions, and the action to go over the student voices shows that the committee has no interest in the actual will of the students and as such should not claim to represent students. The 3 student voices were not heard, and the apparent consequences of their absence should disqualify any decision made by the committee and their progress reset. We desire a new open mascot design contest that prioritizes student engagement and inclusivity to create a mascot that truly represents all of the student groups that make up our campus and does not marginalize the voices of Native students or the student body.
This proposal will benefit associated students and the Mount SAC community at large, since we will be reaffirming our commitment to students to create a truly equitable campus. This resolution will be a step forward in righting historical wrongdoings and respecting Indigenous sovereignty, culture, and ways of life. Through this resolution, we hope to strengthen our community through education and acknowledgement of cultural insensitivity. We seek to address these concerns outlined above and move forward to a united and respectable college community. We hope this provides some background information as to why we feel this is important, and we respect and appreciate your opinion, and thank you in advance for filling out the survey.
Thank you.